he wants that fight. So the fight's going to happen.
That's him just selling it to the media that I pulled up on him while he's wagering. And most people will fall for it.
Conor Benn said to us that will be his next fight. Is that it now? Next fight is going to be Conor Benn for you, Chris?
As long as he gets his license back, the fight's next.
The big one to try and diminish Ben, didn't he? He tried to make Ben look silly by offering him a £1 million bet. And apparently, Eddie doesn't know the governance of his own sport. As a promoter, a licensed promoter, he can't bet. And so, of course, Chris has called him out. And now Eddie, being the master snake oil salesman he is suggesting that it's a conspiracy theory that people want him to take the bet so he can get fined on his licence. Nonsense!
Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn will fight on April 26th in a match that has everyone talking. Their families have a long boxing history, and now they will step into the ring to continue the rivalry. But before the fight even starts, there has already been a lot of drama. Eddie Hearn, Conor Benn's promoter, made a bold move. He offered a £1 million bet saying Ben would win. Maybe he thought Eubank Jr. would be scared or refuse. But Eubank Jr. shocked everyone. He accepted the bet right away.
We're going to have a bigger bet. We're going to have £1 million.
You want to do £1 million on Conor Benn?
In escrow tomorrow morning.
He has
I'm telling you now, £1 million in escrow tomorrow morning.
On what?
On what? On the fight.
You're going to bet £1 million on Conor Benn?
In escrow tomorrow morning.
Eddie. Come on, Eddie. £1 million, eh? Okay. Let's find out if you're a man of your word or just a lying hype job. I formally accept your £1 million bet. And the £1 million will be our own personal money. Not company money or purse money, just a straight up bet between me and you. The money will go into escrow and the winner takes all.
Then a big problem came up. Hearn is a licensed promoter, which means he is not allowed to place bets on fights. People quickly started calling him out, saying he made a bet he couldn't even follow through on. Now fans are wondering, was this a real bet or just a trick to get attention? That's when promoter Ben Shalom stepped in. He suggested a way to make the bet real without breaking the rules. Instead of a personal bet, he said the losing team should pay the winning team £1 million as a promoter's bonus.
Chris Eubank Sr. was pushing very hard for that should be the fight with the Benn family, not his son,
Harlem.
Chris Eubank.
Listen, go on, sorry.
Well, I was going to say that we could well see a Ben Eubank 4 if Ben succeeds in a way against Chris Eubank, or maybe a very disappointing fight if we find out when Chris steps in there against Conor that he is much, much too big for him. But I think they'll play 12 rounds and I think we'll get 2 fights. I just have this weird feeling about him.
Now, all eyes are on Hearn. Will he find a way to keep his promise, or will he back out? This has only added more excitement to the fight. Fans love the extra drama, but will the bet actually happen? Or was it just a publicity stunt? One of the biggest concerns in this fight is weight. Conor Benn is much smaller than Eubank Jr. and has to move up 2 weight classes. This means he might be slower or not as powerful as he usually is. At his normal weight, he would likely be the favorite, but against a bigger fighter, it's much harder. Eubank Jr. also has a challenge. He has to lose weight to meet the fight's limit.
Bet, and I've looked into it, that bet can go ahead between the promoters as a promoter bonus.
Really?
So for me, Eddie made that bet, Eddie made that offer. Whether we call it a bonus, whatever we want to do, the other one camp will pay the other camp $1 million if it loses, and the other camp should pay the other camp $1 million if it loses. We're on, I'm on, there's a way to do it. I know he's going on about all these rules now that I was...
Some experts, like Carl Frampton, believe Eubank Jr. won't make the weight properly. Instead, he might come in heavier and just pay a fine. If this happens, Ben will have to fight a much bigger, stronger opponent. This makes the fight exciting and unpredictable. Will Ben's speed and skill be enough to win? Or will Eubank Jr.'s size and strength be too much? This is not just about winning. It's personal. Their fathers, Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr.
But Eubank Jr. is his own man, and that's what he's always tried to make out. This is me, this is my career, and this is how I do things. Dad, that was your era, that was your time, blah, 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 let me do this. But I'm sure he'd love to have him sat ringside watching him.
It's quite difficult sometimes, especially if you're dry like Chris Eubank. He will struggle to stay within that £10 limit. I have a feeling he won't do it. I have a feeling he'll agree to it, he'll pay a fine and maybe weigh in 15 or 16 pounds over.
But who did he fight recently and he looked like he was completely dead at the weight?
His last fight.
Was it Liam Smith, the first one?
Yeah.
He looked like he looked awful.
Brutal. And that's how hard it is to make. That's why I think it's kind of the rehydration clause puts things slightly more into Conor Benn's favour, which is unfair.
Were famous boxing rivals in the 1990s. Now their sons are keeping the rivalry alive. Eubank Jr. wants to show that he can be great without his father's help. Benn wants to prove that he can beat bigger opponents. Both fighters have something to prove, and that makes this fight even more important. Fans are already choosing sides. Some believe Benn's hunger and determination will push him to victory. Others think Eubank Jr.'s experience and size will be too much for Benn to handle.
I think it'll be a mismatch, just as much a mismatch as the presses have been. It will be a similar format, playing out in the physical. Chris is way too much, and that will become evident as the rounds go on in the fight.
Yeah, I think the difficulty for Conor Benn in this fight is the weight and is the size. I think he's a better fighter. And I think at a natural weight class, he's a big favourite in the fight. But coming up 2 weight classes, it makes it a 50-50 fight. And you ain't going to blink in this one.
Some believe Eubank Jr.'s size will help him win easily. Others think Benn's heart and hunger will lead to an upset. No matter what happens, this fight will be exciting. One thing is for sure, this will be one of the most talked about fights of the year. Who do you think will win? Let us know in the comments.